Hello, hello, everyone. Hey, hey, hey. I know it's going to take a little minute for Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube to let everybody know we're here, let everybody know we're live.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm.
okay, let me just
Yes, I'm
let
available.
me just okay. We're giving everybody time to come into the space, but Marissa and I just did one of her like intro breathings, and I was like, hey, let's do this for everybody and people
Yeah.
who are on now, and honoring you who will come on now, and honoring those who are watching hashtag replay.
Yes.
Um, yeah, you get to experience the coming in. So
Yes.
Marissa, tell us what to do.
Yes. Okay, y'all. I am Marissa, a free, courageous, authentic woman, and I use the power of breath work to support Black women in making space in their bodies, to regulate their nervous system, and really be able to bring forth what it is that their bodies are telling them. We get to birth. So, with that said, I do this practice called a Durga breath, which is a three-part circular breath, breathing in through the belly, in through the chest, and exhaling out the mouth. And it's all done through the mouth. And today we'll do it in like a straw format. So it sounds a little like this: in through the belly, in through the chest, and exhale. In through the belly, in through the chest, and exhale. Okay, so we'll do that. Was just the show.
Oh, wait a minute. I lost sound. Okay.
Can- Yeah, my
Yes.
headphones did.
Okay.
That's fine. Let's breathe in through our bellies, in through our chest, and exhale. And as you're breathing in, your belly should expand, your chest should expand, and exhaling out. So in through the belly again, in and exhale. One more in through the belly, in through the chest, and exhale, release. Welcome into the space, y'all. Welcome in.
Welcome in. Welcome in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, let me introduce myself. I am Latoya. Your hold on. Let me switch that.
You
What am I
said
doing? I'm hiding here. Okay. I'm Latoya, your spiritual inner power guide, coach, and practitioner. I'm master Reiki practitioner and master emotional freedom technique, or what people know as tapping, and really truly helping you tap into and connect with your inner power, your divine authority, your actual identity, and who you are, so that you can love yourself, trust yourself, and believe in yourself to be your highest and best self as you show up in the world the way that you desire and that you deserve. And so I'm so very honored to be here with my co host, Marissa. And today, our topic is trusting the process in spirituality. And so, this is our show, Making Space, and we talk about making space for the things that are really important in your life. And you know that they're important in your life. And you know that they're not only what you desire, but that you deserve and that you need. And how do we make space for those things? And so today,
mm-hmm.
we're talking about making space for your development and your growth, and trusting the process of your elevation in spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, Marissa, that our conversations start with, okay, so as we just talked about that,
Mm-hmm.
what comes up for you?
So, so many things I've been reflecting on.
Mm,
First of all, I
mhm.
got my whites on, just like
Love
in the
that.
space. I got my Usher whites on today. Um, I've done. Um,
Ah,
I've been reflecting on the most around this topic. When I was driving to this cafe this morning, I realized that we seek validation outwardly a lot, right?
you're just gonna start deep like that. You're not gonna ease your toe in. You're just about to jump off the diving board. Okay, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I was thinking about this, and we've been taught that someone or something outside of us ourselves are going to save us. Like God is going to save us, Jesus has come to save us, or what have you. But why can't we really dig within ourselves? Well, not why can't we? We're the only people, the only ones that are going to be able to save us, right? To take care of us. But I know I've been reflecting on this because I got a lot of feedback from one of the surveys that I've sent out
Mm,
recently. And someone was like, I just want to be able to trust somebody to do XYZ for me. I'm just so tired of doing it all. Right. And
yeah.
I get that. As Black women, we are tired of doing it all. But if
Mhm.
we even take an inkling of what we are doing for others and pour it back into ourselves, we'll be able to save ourselves.
Say that.
But we've been
Say
taught
that.
to look outside for someone to come along and save us.
And what's interesting is because of this indoctrination that runs so very deep,
Very.
very deep, even in cultures, traditions, and religions that don't necessarily have that archetype. As a people, we sometimes grab them and make them that archetype. Do you know what I mean? Like there might be, a guru or a prophet, and they're like, no, I'm just coming to share this light. And then we're like, no, no, pedestal, bow down, worship, right? That's not what necessarily
Yep.
they meant, but we end up doing that often. And I think it's exactly what you're talking about in this indoctrination of not being able to, and this is what come up for me, what I wrote down, not being able to trust yourself.
Yeah, that's where it all stems from. But we've been taught not to.
But we've been taught not to.
We've been taught not to. We're supposed
And
to trust in a higher being, which there I believe in higher beings as well. But what about the God within? Why can't we trust that voice?
why can't we trust that voice? And even in the religions that have, you know, this archetype of God and Savior, right? Or Jesus, for example, if you're Christian and you talk about Jesus, and Jesus said, well, okay, I'm doing these things and I know you like them, but greater things will you do. But we didn't latch on to that part. Right? We didn't latch on to that part. So, uh-oh. I think she came out. She have to come back in. We'll wait for her. But I'll just keep kind of talking. So it's interesting that because of the indoctrination, because of the suppression, because of the usage of different holy scriptures, we kind of fell into this. It's interesting because we fell into, not only we need a savior, we need a savior, we need a savior. Here she comes. Yes, welcome back.
I'm
um,
sorry. I pressed the button and I shouldn't have. I'm sorry.
oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I was talking about that. Even in those cultures, and Jesus said, "Greater things will you do," but we didn't latch on to that part, right?
Mhm.
And And so, because we didn't do that, and because of the indoctrination and the oppression, and the way that some of these holy scriptures were used and manipulated, not only did we stay stuck in, we need a savior, we need a savior, we need a savior, but then we also developed what we call the Messiah complex, where we must become saviors for other people except
Whew.
ourselves.
Yes. Yes. Wow. I'm like, which way do I go from here? Because I was just writing about this. Ugh, so many things are trying to come up at the same time, and I'm trying to get the words. So excuse me for being for
Yeah,
not
you know what?
rap.
Take your time, because this is a deep topic, and obviously we're not going to get it all in an hour, but it's good for us to open it.
Yeah. So I think that's where we come back to the same story of people pleasing, right? But I was just
Mm,
about this earlier about me wanting to always be of service, always wanting to fix someone, and especially being cognizant of it as I am coming into more of this healing space and more of the coaching space, and not one making myself superior to anyone else just
mhm.
because I entered this healing journey before you did at whatever time long ago, and now I have all these things. I can't make myself superior, and I also can't fix every single person that I come in contact with that I see that is not in alignment with what I can see their highest good as being, right? It is not up to me to do that work. It is not. And but I realize that sometimes I insert myself because I'm like, ooh, let me help you. Ooh, let me help you. Ooh, let me, and it's like, no, they're not asking me to solve their problems
Right. Or to save them.
or to save them at all. Right? Some people just want to be heard, and that's
Right.
where I get to be put into my place and just be able to listen to folks and not try to jump in all the time. And I think that's where a lot of us as Black women, as women in particular, become so tired because we're always out here trying to save somebody and to be all of these things for them, to please them, to fix them because we know better. And it's like, girl, focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Oof. So I just want to address someone in the audience is Facebook user. She said, I don't have good connection, so I'm looking forward to the replay. And Marissa and I were just talking about that, right? That Mercury's in retrograde. And so let's love
Just
you
be
and the
yeah.
replay. Just be patient, right? Don't feel frustrated.
Yes.
Um, yeah, ooh, just feeling where to go from there too, because it really does run so deep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And oftentimes in our needing to save or fix someone else, we end up projecting.
Yeah. Girl.
We end up projecting, and we end up trying to save the shadow self
That is what it is.
within
Mhm.
that we see in somebody else that
Yep.
may or may not even be there.
Yeah. 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 Or that they may not be ready to face.
Or they may not be ready to face. Ooh, that is another one.
That's one that I'm really learning, right? I can't be forceful. When I see it, I'm like, I have been you before.
Mm, mm,
It's kind of
mm.
like, ugh. You you can't force it, right? Everything in due time. If I'm the same person who is preaching ease and you know the law of pure potentiality, infinite possibilities, and getting things done in their own timing, I can't also be the same person being like, hey, I see that you're going through this, and all you got to do is these 5 simple steps and you'll get there, right? Because I've already done it, so just listen to me. And it's like, no, that's not
Cause,
that.
cause my steps are definitely your steps, right? My answers are definitely going to be your answers, right?
No, no, you might need to go through it again, right? You might need to experience what you just shared with me again. One thing that I was listening to a podcast, and I was talking about um, being in recovery,
Mm,
and in recovery can mean from drug abuse, from addiction, from different things like that. But
mhm,
we talk about old ways of being a people pleaser, right? And being
mhm,
in recovery from that, right?
mhm,
So we
mhm.
that we want to try to have this savior complex and support someone, like understand that we are still learning how to not jump in and how to not fix by either being silent, listening to what someone has to say, maybe offering up some resources and tools, and then stepping back, right? Um, but it takes practice. And then there's also moments of withdrawal, right? Where we go back at withdrawal and of relapse, where we go back and do the same thing we just finished saying. We know that we're not going to do that anymore, and it still happens, right? And being okay with that, having grace with ourselves, being compassionate, noticing that it happened, and leaving the people alone, allowing them the space and opportunity to continue either to step into recovery, or keep going back to the same old ways of being until they're tired and they're ready to do the work themselves.
Until they're ready, right? Until their soul is ready for that elevation and feels drawn and called to it.
Yeah.
And I think, and also I wanted to kind of piggyback on that when we end up like falling back or um, falling back into some of the old ways, right, and doing exactly what we might have just taught on Restream, right? Just mentioned on Restream, right? um, and being able to have that grace to
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
right? Oh, grace is so powerful. Having grace, excuse me, extending grace to yourself and extending grace to other people where they are,
Here they
right?
are.
Because sometimes we have that tendency too, where we've had a breakthrough, and then it's like, oh, you don't listen, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, and not allowing, not remembering our journey
Mm-hmm.
to get to that point,
Yeah.
and not remembering how maybe we needed or wanted,
Yeah.
whether we experienced or didn't experience the grace ourselves, and then being able to extend that grace to other people wherever their journey is. Because the truth of the matter is, my walk is going to be different from your walk, and everybody's walk is going to be different. And some of the things in that person's walk needs to happen for their soul elevation.
Exactly. 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 Yeah. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch it happening, but like,
Right.
now I'm offering encouragement while people are going through either difficult or transitional times. Like, you're exactly where you need to be. This is
Yes.
great for you because you're building up that stamina, or whatever it is that you
Right.
need to be able to have your testimony shared with someone else, right? Or to support someone else, or to support yourself when this thing comes back around again. And I
Yeah.
think there needs to be more people like us who are talking about um, what the Christian faith would call backsliding.
Mm.
It is the same as relapsing or learning the same um, lesson again.
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm, mhm.
we are all practicing life. And so
Yeah.
we get to learn the same lesson over and over again, or we get to be given the same lesson over and over again until we learn, right?
Right.
It's okay that we do that and still be in this position of teacher, of
Yes.
practitioner, of facilitator, because it's not like our pastors or whatever leadership looks like for your religion is without any fault, or without any tests, or without any um, I don't know, anything that is not in alignment with what they're preaching. It's not like they don't
Right.
experience it. I just don't
Right.
think everyone talks about the parts. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm outside.
It's all good. It's all good.
I I just don't think everyone likes to put the parts that are not as pretty
Yeah.
outside, like
Yes.
forefront. And I think that's the part that helps people relate more, is not so pretty.
The parts that aren't so pretty. Right. The right. Yeah.
What direction are you thinking?
I'm thinking about the journey
Mm,
and really feeling touched by allowing people to have their journey and
mm,
allowing yourself to have your journey.
mm,
You know, my husband is very adamant, much to the chagrin of a lot of members in my family. He's very adamant about allowing our kids to have their own journey
mm,
and allowing them to be exposed,
mm-hmm,
but not indoctrinating them.
mm, mm,
And in a society that can criticize you for that
mm-hmm.
and find ways to define you for that, um, sometimes it can be difficult to hold your ground and to stand your ground. And I'm thinking about that in terms of, I'm sorry, my husband is yelling, but but um, it can be difficult to hold your ground and stand your ground for your children. I'm thinking about that. But it can also be difficult to hold your ground and stand your ground for yourself. And I'm thinking about people who might be in doubt of places that they have been in for a long time, might be questioning, might be exploring, right? I feel my body like expanding when I say that, you know, like exploring and opening. And it may be difficult for you to allow yourself space to grow and develop.
Yeah. Yeah.
My my son just today, he woke up with a revelation, like in my world, what we would call channeling.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
and we were at a cafe. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. He opened his laptop and he grabbed his pen because he was going to do homework, and he started doing some mathematical equations, and he said, you know, I discovered, I realized that the journey, the success is in the journey. He said, but I know that people said that, but I just didn't never realize what it meant. He said, but what it means is the success is in the journey, and the journey is you. You are the journey. I said, right. So
Go on. Like, I don't need, there's nothing else that I need to teach you. I think I'm done. Like, I think you got it.
more than that, I grabbed my notebook. I was like, okay, so go ahead. I said, explain a little further because
Yes.
right, I did do that. And what I also did was grab my phone and I started recording it.
Yeah.
I just he straight streamed consciousness for 45 minutes.
Oof.
45 minutes. He went into, I just got to say it real briefly right here. He went into, and he ended with, and therefore you never really die.
Mm.
Because energy is never destroyed.
No.
And when you put your energy out into other people, it was like a stream. It was like death. It was like after death. It was like doing what you love. And it was like,
wow.
So I'm grateful and I'm honored, but the reflection is if I allowed the continuation of indoctrination,
Mm.
I don't know when or how or if, right? But he is evolving and becoming and understanding and expanding and I'm just that happened today. And I literally my eyes were like tearing up, not because he's my son, but because I witnessed
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
this becoming.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to encourage people who might be listening right now. Give yourself space to expand
Yeah.
spiritually.
Mm. Yeah. That needs to breathe for a second.
Mm.
Wow. One, I appreciate you sharing that because
Mm.
definitely inspirational for me when you specifically said a channel message, right? For me, I hear a lot of things that are not being said. And to be even to be able to say that in this moment gives me a little right? Um, because that just wasn't acceptable.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't acceptable for me last year.
Yeah. Yeah. It just wasn't acceptable to be able to say, like, I hear what I'm hearing is, and just bring it out your mouth, right? Um, we were talking about this topic before coming on here today, and I was sharing how sometimes when I'm on, like, I'll post on social like videos of me talking about whatever's going on, and it's usually what is hitting me right at that moment.
Mhm.
But I don't
Mhm.
specifically say what I'm hearing is, or what I'm channeling is. I'll usually say like what's coming up for me is, right,
Yeah.
because when
Yeah.
I use certain words that are spiritual, I still, and look at me putting quotes around it, right? I don't always feel 100% confident using that language because in the back of my mind I'm saying that is not allowed to be said by, you're not allowed to do that,
You're
right?
not allowed to do that. Ooh, can I dig there a little bit? Where did that come from? Because I think,
Yeah, it is a couple of places, I would say. Partly from the church, right? Only the preacher hears the
mhm,
God.
mhm,
um
mhm.
and secondly, it comes from me being told as a child, or just as a adult, actually being told by my parents that I was too sensitive.
Ooh.
You're so sensitive, that's why I didn't want to tell you anything, or I didn't want to whatever. Just hearing those words, like, you're too sensitive.
Mhm, mhm.
And now I'm like, thank you when people say that I'm sensitive, right? I feel a lot of things. I feel it in my,
Mhm.
hear it in my head, like I know it in my belly, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But being told that so much has had me be quiet,
Yes,
right?
yes,
It
yes.
had me to push down what it is that I want to say, because people are going to think something of me. They're going to think I'm too sensitive. They're going to think that I'm what they call woo woo, or
Right, right.
witchy, or whatever you want to call it. So I try to use words, I use language that will be more appealing to people. And also, it's a story in my head that people will
Yes,
understand what I am saying.
yes,
or people will not receive what it is that I have to say. And you know, that's a story that I've made up, because anytime I open my mouth, people actually either turn to face me to hear what I'm saying, or like, yes, I get that yeah, I relate to that, or whatever. So I only have proof that it makes sense when I speak,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Mm-hmm.
have stories that says I shouldn't speak in this manner.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so constantly trusting that people will understand when I speak,
Yeah.
specifically as it relates to what spiritual downloads I may be getting, or even regular downloads I may be getting. And I even had to thank some some folks that I was doing breath work with yesterday, right? So we all three of us have gone through the breathwork facilitation course together, and you know, one of them was sharing about a procedure that she just had done on her body, and she had all this medication, so she was like tired and like um, have been trying to go to work every day, but just could not get up and go,
Mm-hmm.
or would go and then come home early. And as soon as she finished speaking, I was like, what I'm hearing is maybe you need to talk to that part of your body that you are feeling one resistance, or is feeling weak, or is feeling
Mm-hmm.
like it needs medication or whatever. Like, talk to it, ask her
Mm-hmm.
what it needs,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it
Mm-hmm.
naturally just came out of my mouth. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about who I was talking to. It just came out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Received it, and it wasn't because it was in a group of people who have been in this container with me, but it was because I naturally allowed whatever wanted to come out of me, without judgment, without any second guessing any of that. I just said the words, and it was okay. She received it. Right? Does she believe the same way I believe? No, but she received what I had to say.
Can I speak to that just a little bit?
Mm,
I really feel convicted that part of that is because the more that you lean into that,
mhm,
speaking your truth, being in who you are, right? Being in your solar plexus, that your frequency is calling in, right? You're attracting people who can receive it, right?
mhm,
Who is open to receive it. And I love what you said, because even people who may not believe the same way that you do, guess what happens? They're able to translate. They're able to receive what you said and translate it into their own spiritual place,
mhm,
and then take it in.
mhm,
That's what I so beautiful about when you actually are,
mhm.
when that I feel you actually are um, walking in who you are, like comfortable in your skin, comfortable in who you are, comfortable in allowing yourself to be and allowing other people to be. That means I can take what you say and I can translate it into where I am,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think that rings so powerfully for me, Marissa, because I can identify with it so much. When we were deeply conservatively Christian, the language that we used, my husband had like a profound spirit of discernment, profound. But he could never say, God told me, or spirit told me, or, right? Because those words, just like you said, we didn't feel allowed, right? We didn't feel worthy. And this word came up for me as you were speaking, and as I'm thinking that this shared experience, we didn't feel safe. It wasn't safe.
There it is. That's the word. That's it. Go ahead. Yep.
It wasn't safe. And as I'm moving through my own spirituality, as I'm making space for my own spirituality, and my husband, and definitely us creating this container to make space for our children's spirituality, I feel like I'm understanding more and more exactly what you're saying, that when you do step into that divine spiritual authority that is within us, that we do call in people who can do that, who can resonate, who can have the dialogue without attacking you or judging you or criticizing you or making the space unsafe. um and you can grow together, and you can pour into and feed each other.
Exactly. Exactly. And even on that part of safety, I feel like it's partly ancestral as well. Like, if
Oh
going into
yes.
what the overall society is saying, this is the way we do things, could mean death.
Yes.
It
Yes.
could mean death for you and your family,
and
right?
and from my experience, spiritual death is pervasive.
Mhm. Mm.
Spiritual death leaks into your life work, your career,
Mhm.
your family relations,
Mhm.
your sexual life.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Spiritual death is pervasive. And because there are entities and groups that in their walk are still um, emanating unsafe energy,
Yeah.
what happens to us is we shut the throat chakra down.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what. Yeah. And
But I will tell you. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
you sure? I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
want to make sure that this is not this is not a bashing of any religion.
Right.
Specifically, it's not a bashing of Christian religion, right? Because there's certain parts of that I still hold very dear to me, specifically the music.
Mhm.
Okay, I love a little gap. Okay, I love it. Okay, there's pieces of it that I continue to hold very dear to me. Um,
Mhm, mhm.
and I use that word pieces. So we get to create our own spiritual or spiritual way of being, or
Right.
our
Our experience.
experience. Thank you. Right? By taking pieces of things that feel best to us.
Yeah.
Right? So I just wanted to make sure I said that. Like, I
Thank
wanted
you.
to be clear that we are not bashing any religion, any spiritual practice. Um, all is welcome.
Yes.
The questioning,
Yes.
the critical thinking,
Yes.
and getting clarity and understanding by doing your own research and feeling
Mhm.
through what feels best to you is what is being promoted here.
Yes. Yes. And actually, circling back, adding to that also, that you get to have a safe space to explore. You get to have a safe space to explore. And what I wrote down as we were starting to come on, um, what came up for me is trusting your experience, right? Allowing for your experience. And part of that, I think, is protecting a safe space for you to have the experiences,
Yeah,
wherever that may be.
yeah,
But trusting yourself, trusting your experience, your intuition, your feelings, your emotions, right? Like you get to have the experience.
yeah, 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 yeah. And the you get to have the experience, understanding that not everyone is going to agree, not everybody is going to understand. People may um, be opposing to
Mhm,
what it
mhm,
is that you um, want to do or how you want to be and live,
mhm,
or
mhm.
unaccepting of it. And when it comes to trusting the process and really holding holding fast to what you believe, sometimes it's difficult, especially if it's different from what your family may feel, what your partner may feel. Um, and so, yeah, trust
Parents,
parents, how you grew up,
how you
uh,
grew up.
this process of learning new ways of being
Mhm.
spiritually and unlearning old ways that may have been detrimental to your health or
Mhm.
and health meaning not necessarily like physical health. It could be, I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
But mental health, your emotional
Mhm.
health, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
your spiritual health.
Your
Um,
spiritual health.
yeah,
Mhm.
unlearning some of those things at the same time as learning new ways of being, having grace for yourself and compassion for yourself. Um, yeah, and at the end of the day, for me, spirituality is more about just being more uh, introspective.
Yes.
That's what that
Yes.
to me, right? Take like really looking at myself. How am I showing up? Am I taking care of my physical being? Am I connecting with the higher power that feels best for me? Am I connecting with
Mhm.
myself
Mhm.
on a
Mhm.
regular basis? Um,
Mhm.
and if I'm asking myself those questions constantly, then I feel like always on the right path. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I love that you said that because exactly what's coming up for me right now when you said, I feel like I'm on the right path, or that I know that I'm always on the right path, that can include what we may have thought of or experienced as mistakes, right? Mistakes. Or, because I know people who got caught in like different sects, that may have been considered more cultish and things like that. And we can also feel like we got to beat ourselves up for that. I can't believe I was so stupid. I can't believe I fell for that. I can't believe I stayed so long. I can't believe, like, X, Y, Z. And I did that to myself too, right? Like, I can't believe I did all those things. I said all those things. I was, so deeply entrenched. But all of that is part of the journey. All of that is part of becoming.
Yeah.
All of that is part of your your soul's wisdom now,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So allowing yourself the grace to also accept all of the experiences along the way.
Yeah. And not being in comparison to anybody else's journey. Like your
Right.
son is so young coming to these like to this awakening that just that is just happening for me.
That I'm
And I'm
still
like,
coming
if I
to.
knew it then what kind of life would I be living now? But it is
Right.
I meant to live this life the way that I live
Yes.
and to come into this information at this age for a
Mhm.
reason.
Mhm. Mhm.
So he was meant to come into his knowing or this part of his knowing at this
Right.
age, at this time for a reason.
For a reason. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm,
And your journey is good and right. And his journey is good and right. And my journey is good and right.
yes. Yes. There is no either or, good or
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
There just is.
There just is.
Yeah. And also journeys are not linear. Okay. We are all good.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
And then all that curving, you're like, I feel like I've been here before. Like,
A message. I got a message.
oh, I don't want know what happened. I think we lost her. Oh, there she goes. You're back.
I mean, one message comes in and then all of a sudden my phone starts doing all this stuff. It's
you know, it's retrograde. So I think, I think this has been a beautiful conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a beautiful conversation, and I hope that everyone feels encouraged to really allow themselves the space to trust in their process.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we hit it.
I think we did too. And you know what? I think we get to celebrate some things, right?
Let's do
Because
it.
yes, because both of us have some things that have just come out for the people, and we get to celebrate each other on what those things are.
Yes.
So
Let's do that. Let's do
would you,
that.
would you like to go first, or would you like me
No,
to
no,
go?
you go first. You go first.
Okay. So I am super excited to announce that I have just launched my program called Free Living for Black Women, right? You can find it on my website that is here, and go to Free Living tab on my website. And it is an 8-week course that helps women move from putting the needs, wants, and safety of others before themselves to radically choosing themselves so that they too can live their most free, courageous, and joy-filled lives. And we do that through the power of embodiment work like this breath work and meditation, as well as self-awareness exercises and experiences, right? So if this is for you, if you are ready to create more boundaries, to do the work, to be a little bit more self-aware of your emotions, of your experiences, of your feelings, and how you are showing up in the world, if you're ready to show yourself a little bit more self-love and compassion, right, and create those boundaries that we really get to choose ourselves first and get our needs met first. So I'm really looking forward to working with you all. Just check out my website, Free Living for Black Women, and I'm excited. We're launching May 16th, so there it is.
Woo, 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 woo. Fantastic.
So how can we
Fantastic.
celebrate you? What you got coming up?
Okay, so this has been in my heart for over a year. And it's a program. It's a self-guided. It's not a program, excuse me. I can't even believe I just said that because it's all about deprogramming. So it's a self-guided experience because you all know that I'm about the experience. That's who I am. And it's a 21-day experience. So it's called Free Your Voice. And it's all about unlocking, unleashing, freeing, opening up this energy center right here, this powerful energy center right here. And
Yes.
I know it's powerful for people who want to have further reach, who want to have deeper impact, who want to speak more, maybe in public. They want to speak more in what they do in their business. But not only do they want to speak more, but they want to speak with power, integrity, and they want to speak with their truth. They want to speak with their confidence, and they want to speak with their conviction. That's who this is for. And for some women, I just want to do that for myself. Like I want to do that with my kids and with my partner, right? I want to do that wherever I show up. I want to speak with my truth, my power, my integrity. That's what this program is. It's 21 days, free your voice. It is not that you're going to have transcended in 21 days. But it is that we're going to do the tapping, we're going to do the energy clearing and releasing, we're going to do the deprogramming, the deconstructing, we're going to really do the miss and re-education of all the things that have blocked and suffocated and stuffed this up. And so you will have the knowing, the reconnection to self and to intuition and reconnection to the power that's here. You will have the tools, techniques, and practices.
Yes.
And you will have done them for 21 days with me through video so that when you are finished, you will know how to continue absolutely, truly freeing your voice.
Yes. So, where can they find it? Because that don't say Latoya on there.
It sure don't. My bad. I just got excited. I was like, okay, let me go. It's finally releasing. It's on my website now, but the link is not working yet. So thank you, Mercury. But give me a day. Check on it tomorrow night, and Mercury and I will work together, and the link will be working. And so
I
the
love this.
link will be working, but you'll start getting the drops May 1st. May 1st is let's go time.
Yes. I love this self-paced. So there's no excuse. If you can't meet at 6 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 12 o'clock, at whatever o'clock, you can do it when it's your time. Right. Take that time for you. I love that. Yes. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you. And congratulations for you, because I know that this was on your heart. I remember you speaking about it as it was coming to fruition.
Yeah.
And I know that this was a channel for you.
Yes. I'm excited. Yeah.
So I'm excited based on the conversations that I have had, particularly when I was in the military with a lot of Black women. I'm excited for you and the women that's going through your program.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brooke. Oh, thank you all for today. Another Making Space experience. I hope you got everything that you needed today. And usually Latoya closes us out, so I'm not sure what else to say.
No, you were doing well. I was like, yes, absolutely. Yes, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes. So definitely connect with us. Free your voice. Free yourselves.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yes. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Sending you so much love and power. And bye, everybody.
Later.